Hey, good morning. Welcome to Mom. If it's your first time, my name's Heather, and we're going to do some simple, potent moves that you can do every morning, just designed to help you keep doing what you love to do. So we will start on our hands and knees. Tops of the feet to the floor, the knees are hip width apart, and I want you to turn your hands toward your knees. Okay, so keep those shoulder width apart. So here, we're going to stretch out and strengthen this area, also the wrists. So in this position, you're not putting as much, pressure on the wrists right off the bat. And here, we will press our bottom back toward the heels. And there you will feel a really nice stretch from the base of the hand, pretty much all the way up to the shoulder. Okay, and then just ease back forward. All the while, I want you to keep the belly button in. Don't let the back sag. And forward. And you don't really want any of your hand to come up off of the floor. So you're just going back as far as you can while keeping the palms pressed to the floor. So this is just a small but really nice move to get the hands stretched out. They don't really get a lot of love. Stretches out the hands, the wrists, the forearms. Good. And again, it's not really about range of motion on these, it's just warming that area up. We know if grip strength gives out on us if we're, trying to grip handlebars or, grip a weight, if that's the first thing to go, then you can't really do anything else. So I'll just do a couple more. Good, and you can hold in this position a little bit longer. That feels good. Usually about 1, 2, 3 count works, and then we'll turn back over, and you should feel kind of a lot of work done in this area, but feel pretty sturdy and ready to hold yourself up in that way. Okay, we'll keep the legs exactly how they are because we're going into hip hinges. To keep the top of the left foot to the floor, right leg you want to keep bent and the foot is flexed. So the toes are kind of pointed toward your chest. And we will settle all of the weight on this left knee, but keep the hips even. So I'm not turning toward the left knee there and putting strain or pressure on it. And then you're just hinging the knee up. You're getting a lot of work in the glute area and the outside of the hip, and then bring that knee all the way back in, kind of almost to touch the opposite leg. And that's just for a little hip adduction, inner thigh work, back in. So moves like this, they're good for balance and coordination without subjecting yourself to balancing on the ground and risking falling. And then of course it's just full emphasis on the hip right there. So these I like to go pretty slowly, holds out here, almost as challenging as if you had a band around your leg. So again, you are your own resistance. A few more. And last one. We're gonna hold out here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and back to center. Again, there shouldn't be a lot of reset because you kept everything in the center. Your abs are kind of on fire. That's all good. Keep the left or right foot pressed to the floor this time. Left foot is flexed. Knee stays bent, and then we bring that hip out. And right off the bat, you might notice that you want to kind of lean in toward the right. Okay, that's where you center yourself back up, bring that knee in, and hinge back out. Keep the arms long. You know, you're not bending the arms, you're keeping them nice and straight, posted, however you like to think about it. And nice strong holds. Good. Add a few more. Again, when you're doing the hold like this, it can count as, you know, double the reps. It's better to do them kind of slowly, more intentionally, give yourself more resistance than, you know, doing them really quickly and just calling it done. And, you know, being on your hands and knees like this, it gives work to those joints, again, without impact, you know. And if you're in the business of putting a lot of impact on your body, you know, whether it's something you're doing as a hobby or something that you're doing as a profession, you just want to treat your joints well. This is a pretty much no impact way to do that. Last one, hold, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, bring it back in. All right, so we'll keep the palms right where they are. The tops of the toes, tops of the feet are on the floor in the back, and we're going to hinge our hips up into a downward dog position. So we'll slowly start unbending the knees and extend, press the hips up toward the ceiling, let the head relax between the shoulders, and ultimately you want your feet to be all the way pressed toward the floor. But if you're not quite there yet, don't give in to the hinge here. Keep that hinge nice and strong, but you can bend the knees slightly, okay? Keep the heels of the hands really pressed into the floor. Take a couple breaths in this position, in through the nose, and out through the nose. Okay, and then one of my favorite things to do, it just feels like a whole body stretch and strengthening here. You're gonna lift up onto the toes, drive the knees toward the floor, and then press right back up and back into that downward dog. So each time, you may feel a little more of a stretch if you're having a struggle getting your heels closer to the floor. This one kind of works those muscles to get there stronger each time. Good. Got a few more. Really feel it opening up your back as well. Neck is just still relaxed between the shoulders. Last one. Good. And then here, I'm going to turn toward you. We're going to keep the stance a little bit wider than the hips. Walk the hands back toward the legs, and then we'll settle into that prayer squat. Press the elbows into the knees, and then resist with the knees. Keep the chest open, the back open. And again, if you're still working on these and keeping your hips open in this, you can keep the heels a little bit up off the floor, and then just slowly work your way to this full position. And again, you can hold it up to about a minute. I wouldn't hold it much longer than that. Just give your ankles a little bit of a rest. Great way to end the mom and your morning mobility routine and get ready for the rest of the day. So thanks for joining me. I'll see you next week.